Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Dustborn. Now, I initially had not planned to make a video about this game. It was just so horrible, so bad, and I didn't think people really cared about it. But there was one piece of information that came out that I thought definitely warranted putting it out there into the ether so that hopefully somebody will see it and understand who we're dealing with. So, if you're not familiar with Dustborn, let me go ahead and play this quick little clip from Asmongold, and you'll see exactly what we're dealing with.
Oh, this one, Dustborn? Yeah, more like Dustbin. This shit is done. Look at that. 64 people in the game. I actually saw a trailer.
This part's not the most important part. The game is not doing well, but watch this trailer.
This is the opening of the game.
We're the aliens. We're the refugees.
Just be mindful of the words they're throwing out.
I guess, of the game. I'm not sure.
We're the Dustborn. This bug is airborne. We're the newborn. Our kind is newborn. We're the Dustborn. This bug is airborne. We're the newborn. Our kind is newborn. We're the Dustborn.
How about that?
That was
The fuck?
different. You make
Yeah.
a living doing this?
We're a bit rusty, and it's been a long day.
Yeah, sure thing. By the way, that song could be considered offensive in the Republic. This isn't Pacifica. People here don't like politics with their entertainment. What's your band name?
We're the Dustborn.
It's crazy how unlikable and obnoxious that this is, that it makes the person who is supposed to be the American version of the CCP seem like the normal one. So yeah, the game The Dustborn, it seems like it ended up in the dustbin. How does this shit sell?
Oh, just watch this. You'll
That's
see.
the funny thing. It doesn't.
That other fella you're with, the black kid, dresses like a writer. Does he know anything?
Yeah, see, and there's also, I'll try to find a clip of it because I haven't played the game. I've seen it on Twitter, but I didn't bookmark it. But there's a clip where they talk about it having the cancel powers, like they can cancel you in the game. I'm like, are you serious? Now, when you hear about woke games, this game is actually woke. That's the way it was built and designed. It wasn't meant to try to hide it or push this ideology in a way that you don't know you're being spoon-fed this crap. No, it's overt. It's out there in the open. This post here on Twitter, the worst thing about Dustborn discourse is, of course, the culture war idiots who gas up the game like it's the best game since Super Mario Bros. And the culture war idiots who just hate minorities. Game straight ass regardless of what your politics is. Game sucks at appealing to its target demographics. Game sucks at being queer punk. Game sucks at being a game. Dustborn is the equivalent of waiting in line at Starbucks. You know the coffee's terrible, but you can't go back, so you start questioning your life choices. So look, when it comes to the culture war idiots who just hate minorities, to be honest, that's a very it was a very small amount. This whole identity politics and the push that a lot of our leaders in this nation have been pushing over the past, maybe 15 years, it's created a lot more people who hate minorities. Just, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. And I think that was by design. I really do. Because I know this isn't a politics channel. This is a game-specific video, which is why I'm making it. But they started pushing the identity politics mainly because people started focusing on the money side of things. The 99% protests that were happening probably about 15. I think it was right when Obama took office. I think it was somewhere around that time. And it was the middle to low income level protests against the rich people. And, they can't have that. So they distracted them. I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but that's when the rise of all these buzzwords and keywords about intersectionality, racism, all this other stuff really started popping up in news media. They were trying to distract you and pin you against your fellow American. That's what they've done, and they've been successful at it. That's why our race discourse is so much worse today than it's probably been since the 60s. From Vara Dark, rough launch day for Dustborn, the new DEI game where words are weapons, and it was inspired by 2016 politics. And this is true. It was. The people who made this game had TDS, and this is what they wanted to do. This was their way of, I guess, venting their frustrations with a certain political figure and the way things were going during that time for them. Now, the reason I'm making this video, this is very important. If you're an American, hopefully you know this, but you may not. You can't trust your government. You can't. If you know what they've done, not just to black people back when they were giving them syphilis or whatever, look at what they've done to the people who lived at the Bikini Islands when they wanted to use the island chain for their nuclear weapons testing just after World War II. Go look it up. Look up what they did to sick and potentially terminal people after World War II when they wanted to study the effects of plutonium, I think it was plutonium, on the human body. They secretly gave these people plutonium without them realizing it. That's been declassified. That's out there. And in the 70s, they justified it. Trying to act like they needed to do it. Look, again, not trying to get all conspiratorial. This information you could easily go find out there. There are historians that have made YouTube videos about it. There's documents and articles about it. You cannot trust your government. And I'm specifically speaking about America, right? So it doesn't surprise me when I'm about to unveil what I'm about to unveil to you. And you may already know. But there was recent uproars, I guess you could call it, going around Twitter about how Norway in the EU had funded Dustborn. Well, guess what? So did the US. They provided $275,000. Now, granted, that's not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, especially if this game cost $100 million. I don't know what this game costs. As cheap as it looks, it couldn't have cost that much, right? But look what it was labeled under. Funding opportunity title, funding for new counter-disinformation game. It's propaganda. The government is shoving propaganda in your face to try to normalize a way of thinking. Now, governments always do this. Governments do this against other governments. Governments do this against other governments' peoples. Do I like it? No. But a government should not be doing this to its own people. This ideology, this crap that they're pushing in this game cannot stand on its own 2 feet. That's why it has to be pushed constantly. That's why it has to be supported through false means. They have to make it look like it's better than it really is. They have to potentially falsify data anywhere and everywhere they can, put out fake studies, put out fake press releases, fake news articles. This ideology is just horrible for everybody in this country. It does not do anything but divide us. And you can't make a good game based off of it either. That's why you see people in these YouTube, the YouTube content creators, that's why you see them freaking out when they see pronouns in games. When they see male and female switch to type 1, type 2, or type A or type B. Because they know what you're doing. They know what you're trying to push out there. The difference between those choices in this game is more overtly honest about what it's doing. Keywords, refugees, it's in the air. You know, we're living among you. Illegals. Those are some of the keywords in that little clip I showed you. Those are being pulled straight from current day political issues. And this is what pisses people off in games. They don't want this crap in the games. They want escapism, want to sit down and enjoy their time and not be preached to. Same thing goes for movies, TV shows. They do not want to be preached to. If you look at TV shows and movies back in the 80s and 90s, they were majorly diverse. You had all black TV shows that were popular and that went on for many seasons. As far back as I think it was the 80s, maybe the 70s, were they moving on? Oh, can't remember the name of the TV show, but the theme song always stayed with me. It's like moving on up. to the east side. Can't remember the name. And it had that George Jefferson, I think his name was. The short, bald, and black guy, but he had hair on the side of his head. Funny guy, good TV show. And then you had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You had My Wife and Kids in the early 2000s. You've always had Family Matters. Some of the other ones. I can't remember. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, did I already say that? But anyway, you've always had a lot of diversity in movies and TV shows. It didn't need to be pushed. Once they decided to turn us on each other so they could continue to get richer and richer and richer and just sit up there, it's becoming very much like what are those Hunger Games? Yeah, Hunger Games. You have the very, very rich, and then you have the low people. That's what it's going to move to if they have their way. So they have nobody who could possibly challenge their power or their wealth. They don't even want people getting up there and making that high-end wealthy money because, you know, they're not part of the club. But they're making video games to continue to push this stuff so that they can continue to turn you against each other. Do not trust your government. If you're an American. Now, if you're not American, I would probably say don't trust your government anyway, but I'm not talking to you right now because I know nothing about your government outside of basic world history. And even then, I don't know all the details. All I'm saying is this just proves they are funding propaganda to try to push ideas into you. And if you have kids, pay attention to what your kids are being taught in school because they do it there too. I know for a fact from experience that that's what they do. I have 2 kids currently in public school. So just be careful and understand that this is directly what we're fighting against. This is what Grums and all these other people are pushing back against. Geeks and Gamers, Drunk C3BO, Ryan Grimm, I think his name is. These are what all those people on YouTube are pushing back against. They just want good games, good TV, good movies without all this preachy bullshit in it. But it's propaganda. That's why they're pushing. This game just happened to be right in your face. And lo and behold, the US government had a hand in its funding labeled New Counter-Disinformation Game. So just be careful, guys, what you do out there. You never know what's going to get thrown in your face. So. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I appreciate your time. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. I promise I will not be dipping my toes into politics on this channel. It's just this game kind of intertwined with it. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Talk to you later.